Good morning and welcome to another wonderful episode of Daybreak. I'm Brandon Krasowski.
And I'm Madison Deal. In today's episode, Point Park's COPA program has a new dean. Find out who later in the show.
Not to mention, Scarehouse is giving a deal to students that's sure to have you in a spooky spirit.
We also have a Daybreak debut in tonight's show with reporter Claire Lindsay. She'll keep you up to date on all things environmental in her new segment, Biospheric.
And of course, our usual reporters will catch you up on everything you need to know in sports, entertainment, and political news.
Wake up and smell the coffee, Pittsburgh. Daybreak starts right now.
Welcome back. Here's your campus news, starting with your COVID-19 weekly update with Alexis Shawless.
Thanks, Brandon. This past week has been a slow one for new COVID-19 cases. Only 2 new cases have been identified, totaling 18 for the school year. Out of the new cases, 1 was a faculty member and 1 was a commuter student. This brings our current active isolation spaces in use to 4. On Tuesday, Dean of Student Life, Michael Gieske, notified all students of the updated guest policy, stating, quote, "Students are permitted non-residential guests in their living spaces. This includes both commuters and non-Point Park guests," end quote. Gieske also stated that the policy may be reversed if a rise in cases is noticed. Great job, pioneers. Now, let's take a look at this week's weather.
Thanks, Alexa.
Now let's dive right into the news that matters most, starting right here on campus.
Point Park has a new dean for the Conservatory of Performing Arts. Garfield Lamias was previously the acting dean, but has been appointed to a permanent position in the university. In a statement, President Don Green said, quote, "Garfield has shown a tremendous ability to lead a diverse group of faculty and to understand what our COPA students need to learn and thrive," end quote. He was previously a chair member for the Department of Dance. Lamias taught at Booker T. Washington High School in Dallas before coming to Point Park.
Any students looking for something fun to do during this Halloween season should consider heading over to Scarehouse. Scarehouse is one of Pittsburgh's most famous haunted houses, featuring clowns, mutants, demons, and an assortment of famously scary horror characters. Point Park students receive 20% off their ticket by using the code SCAREPPU and bringing their Point Park ID to the location. Scarehouse is located at the Galleria in Pittsburgh Mills and is celebrating their 20-year anniversary. Kicking off Halloween with a good scare is the perfect way for students to celebrate the holiday.
Don't be alarmed if you see a lot of new faces walking around campus next Saturday. Point Park University will be hosting an open house event on Saturday, October 2nd for all parents and future pioneers. The event will include a tour of campus, a chance to see the opportunities at Point Park through an activities and academic fair, and a provided lunch for all attendees. Future open houses will also be held on October 16th and November 6th. Virtual and individual tours are also available for those who have concerns regarding COVID-19.
I remember my tour of Point Park a few years ago.
I never had a tour.
You haven't?
Nope, I just came right onto campus and was in the playhouse and we just rolled from there.
It was surprising for you.
Yep, I just saw everything. I mean, I used to come downtown all the time, so, but now I know campus and it's great.
I'm sure it'll bring in a lot of new students.
Oh, for sure.
Coming up after the break, learn about the new Army exoskeleton development happening right here in Pittsburgh.
Don't go anywhere, Daybreak. We'll be right back.
What's one word to describe CAB?
Welcoming.
Community.
Creative.
Experiences.
Family. Openness.
Pineapple.
The Campus Activities Board is a student-run organization that consists of 7 different committees. Each focuses on event planning, marketing, and administrative activities. Join us in organizing the juiciest events on campus, from late-night bingo to festive dances to our team bonding meetings. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Point Park Cap. or like us on Facebook at Campus Activities Board at Point Park University.
Good evening and welcome to Newsnight. I'm Josh Krupp alongside Jess Paterchak.
Defending his decision to kick out 15 Cuban diplomats from the United States.
Thanks, Allison. Fitness on Demand has returned to Point Park.
Residents fear that Mount Agung will have a repeat of 1963's eruption.
Two-star NFL quarterbacks made the headlines this week after wrapping up.
Well, thank you so much for joining us this evening. That's your news tonight. For Nick Tomarello, I'm Alex Grubbs. Have a great night.
Welcome back to Daybreak. If you heard bagpipes outside your dorm this weekend, don't be alarmed. We'll tell you all about the St. Patrick's Day Parade.
Not to mention, the newest development in the unforgettable downtown bus and sinkhole story. Here's your city news. Two Pittsburgh companies have been selected by the Army to aid in the development of an exoskeleton suit. Vigilant Technologies, based in Oakland, and Interphase Materials, based in Harmer Township, are the two companies that will be working on the suit. Both are smaller companies that have an extensive history on working with prosthetics and projects to aid people with muscle problems. The exoskeleton suit is designed to monitor the wearer's heart rate, blood pressure, and other essential bodily functions, and send that information into a handheld device. This way, squad leaders will be able to monitor firsthand how the soldiers are doing and stay updated about their condition. This technology can help many soldiers and divisions to come home after successful missions.
Speaking of suits, it has been almost 2 years since a sinkhole opened in downtown Pittsburgh on 10th Street. Now, the single passenger that was on board the sinking bus is suing the Pittsburgh Water and Sewer Authority. According to the Tribune Review, Michelle Goodlaw claims that the PWSA could have prevented the sinkhole from forming. No injuries were originally reported from the Pittsburgh public safety officials, but Goodlaw was sent to the hospital with chest and back pain. She was later diagnosed with severe migraines and anxiety. The PWSA is currently on probation for violating the Clean Water Act, and the results of the lawsuit remained undetermined.
On September 18th, Pittsburgh held its annual St. Patty's Day Festival. Since the parade happened later in the year as opposed to its normal date in March, it was advertised as the halfway to St. Patty's Day Parade. Irish dancers, politicians, bagpipe players, and many more marched down the streets of downtown Pittsburgh and celebrated Irish heritage. The parade took its normal route, starting at the intersection of Liberty Avenue and ending at Commonwealth Place. Attendance this year was smaller than normal years, but was close to the 20,000 people that were expected. The parade was a great success overall and sent many children home happy with pockets full of candy and green necklaces.
I mean, it was the halfway to the parade, but they still did it.
It was still there, and it was nice and warm as opposed to when it's normally cold and I'm wearing like 3 jackets.
And for the businesses downtown, it was great for them. They got to pick up that revenue they missed back in March. So I'm just really happy that we ended up doing the parade again.
And I'm sure all the kids appreciated the necklaces and the candy. After the break, we'll hand it over to our reporters to catch you up on what you need to know in sports and entertainment news.
We'll get Biospiric with Claire Lindsay to find out what's happening with the lovely planet we call home.
Not to mention, we'll politismack this week's political news with Carlo Andressi. Stay tuned.
The United Student Government at Point Park University, working since the 1970s to solve the issues that matter to you. What concerns do you have about the university? Student life, safety, food service? Send us an email to studentconcerns@pointpark.edu or stop by our office on the 7th floor of the Student Center. You can also attend our weekly open meetings on Mondays at 3:15. Follow us on social media at USG_PPU for more. The United Student Government, by the students, for the students.
The Point Park Sports Network, bringing you live coverage of Pioneer Athletics on Stretch Internet, the home of the River States Conference and the NAIA. Subscribe today for complete access to the Point Park volleyball, baseball, basketball, and soccer teams. Watch live and on-demand broadcasts, and don't miss a minute of Point Park Athletics. Head to pointparksports.com/live for broadcast listings. The Point Park Sports Network, your streaming home for Point Park Athletics.
3, 2, 1.
Please visit our website. Please. It's a nice website. please visit our website. Please.
If you have ever watched television, whether accidentally or on purpose, YouView is for you.
Welcome back to Daybreak. I'm Samuel Parator here with your sports news. Week 2 of the NFL is in the books, and unfortunately for our hometown Steelers, it did not end as they wanted to, as they fell to the Las Vegas Raiders 26-17 in their home opener. The struggles continued on offense as the Steelers just could not get anything going. There were a couple big plays, however, including big pass plays of 52 yards to Chase Claypool, 42 yards to Deontay Johnson, and rookie running back Najee Harris's first NFL touchdown. Other than that, though, Pittsburgh's offense was stifled. The defense also struggled as the game went on. They were already down 2 starters, Joe Hayden and Devin Bush, each with groin injuries before the week started, and early in the game, they lost star pass rusher TJ Watt to a groin injury, and he did not return. That didn't stop him from getting his 3rd sack of the year before he got injured, though. Overall, there are certainly things to work on and fix as they head into a rivalry matchup next week and take on division rival Cincinnati Bengals at Heinz Field. Both teams will come into this matchup with a record of 1-1, and even though it is still early in the season, these division games are always very important, so Pittsburgh will look to bounce back and find themselves back in the win column once again. That's it for your sports news. Here's Hannah Bazet with this week's entertainment news.
Welcome to Daybreak. I'm Hannah Bazet with this week's entertainment wrap-up. John Mulaney is in hot water with fans. John Mulaney and his now ex-wife Anna Marie Tendler were married for 6 years and were absolutely adored all over the internet. Unfortunately, the couple's relationship came to a halt in just May of this year, announcing their divorce. Anna issued a statement claiming it was not her who wanted to end the relationship, but John. Not days after announcing their divorce, US Weekly confirmed John Mulaney was now seeing Olivia Munn, an American actress. Fans of the former couple were immediately up in arms, as it seemed like John cheated on Anna with Olivia due to the timing of their new relationship. OK Magazine claims that Anna's friends have said that John cheated on Anna after knowing Olivia for a few years and being the catalyst for their divorce. They even referred to her as a homewrecker. As of now, neither John nor Olivia have spoken about the cheating allegations. To intensify things further, in early September, John and Olivia announced they were expecting their first child together. John, a stand-up comedian, had joked for years about never wanting to have children with his then-wife Anna. Fans were heartbroken for Anna at how fast John had moved on and the fact he was having a baby with Olivia after refusing to have one with her for their entire relationship. Anna, a multidisciplinary artist, has been posting cryptic photos to her Instagram since the announcement of the divorce, with captions like, "A room that once was," end quote, and "As I chase the end of your rope," end quote. It's safe to say that most fans are Team Anna. That's all I have for entertainment. Let's throw it to Claire Lindsay for this week's Biospheric.
Hello Daybreak, I'm Claire Lindsay and this is Biospheric, letting you know what on earth is going on. Spanish authorities have cleared the coastal areas of the island La Palma after a volcanic eruption. A 3.8 magnitude tremor triggered the eruption of the Tenegua volcano this past Sunday. As the lava inches closer to the sea, authorities fear that when they meet, a toxic cloud of gases will be released into the air. The 20-foot-high wall of lava, coming in at almost 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, has been consuming houses, infrastructure, and any crops in its path, according to the Spanish news agency EFE. Pedro Sanchez, the prime minister, offered some solace to the island's citizens, saying, quote, "The state has sufficient resources and personnel at its disposal," end quote. No casualties have been reported, but residents are unsure when they will be able to return. A new bioscience startup recently raised $15 million for a plan to help the environment. The company, called Colossal, intends to resurrect the long-extinct woolly mammoth by altering elephant DNA. The head of the project, George Church, a biologist at Harvard Medical School, said, quote, "Our goal is to make a cold-resistant elephant, but it is going to look and behave like a mammoth," end quote. When mammoths existed the first time, they helped grasslands thrive by knocking down trees and breaking up moss. Church hopes that their reintroduction will create more grasslands in frigid places. That's all for Biospheric. Here's Carlo Andreassi for this week's Politismack.
Welcome to Politismack. I'm Carlo Andreassi. Haiti, in the month of August, faced a devastating earthquake at a 7.2 magnitude, which killed thousands in the country. This is currently causing an influx of asylum-seeking immigrants into the United States. The Biden administration is currently under scrutiny after images and videos surfaced of the Southern Border Patrol officers using whips against these Haitian refugees while on horseback. This was following the Biden administration's decision to deport over 300 Haitian asylum seekers. There are currently around 14,000 refugees from the country who are set up in Del Rio, Texas, and the Biden administration thus far has plans to carry out their deportation. A large reason for these Haitians' speedy expulsion from the country comes down to a directive which has its precedent set in March 2020, in which the government is allowed to invoke Title 42 of the CDC to override federal law and close the border for what they deem as, quote, non-essential travel. Only recently, under the Trump administration, has this rule been used by the United States to apply to immigration restriction, but it seems as if the practice is still in effect under the current administration. When pressed on the inhumane treatment of these refugees from Border Patrol officers, President Biden's press secretary, Jen Psaki, expressed dismay on the White House's behalf, saying that the event was, quote, horrible to watch. She also says that the White House is, quote, assessing circumstances on the ground in Del Rio. While Psaki did not make any statements on the administration's behalf on whether or not this would cause President Biden to reconsider the deportation of 14,000 more asylum seekers, she did confirm that the White House is currently working on plans to provide aid to Haiti during the crisis. That's it for your PolitiSmack update. Now back to your hosts.
Thanks, Carlos. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with this week's Ray of Sunshine.
Good evening and welcome to Newsnight. I'm Josh Troop alongside Jess Paterchak.
Defending his decision to kick out 15 Cuban diplomats from the United States.
Thanks, Allison. Fitness on Demand has returned to Point Park.
Residents fear that Mount Agung will have a repeat of 1963's eruption.
Two-star NFL quarterbacks made the headlines this week after wrapping up.
Well, thank you so much for joining us this evening. That's your news tonight. For Nick Tomarello, I'm Alex Grubbs. Have a great night.
Welcome back to Daybreak. Before we say goodbye, we'd like to share with you this week's Ray of Sunshine.
In case this is your first time joining us or you need a refresher, Ray of Sunshine is our way of starting your day with a smile and an inspirational quote.
This week's quote comes from movie director John Harrigan.
The quote reads, "Happiness held is the seed. Happiness shared is the flower."
Such a beautiful quote, isn't it?
Yeah, what kind of flower do you like?
My favorite flower is a cherry blossom. How about you?
I really like roses or any kind of yellow flower, honestly.
That's so pretty. I love flowers.
They make me happy.
That's it for Daybreak. Thank you for watching.
You can catch clips from all of our previous Daybreak episodes on our Facebook page at UView.
And make sure to check out our full episode and all of our shows from UView on our website, uview.pointpark.edu. Tune in next week for the news you need. I'm Addison Deal.
And I'm Brandon Kozlowski. Hoping your news is good news. Have a great day, everyone.